This is Luxon Talks. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We have before us the beautiful Blake Newton, who is ready to speak to you guys today. Blake, tell us who you are, what you do. Give us a little bit of background on who Blake Newton is.
My name is Blake. I'm a multimedia designer.
Okay.
I am originally from Miami, and now I'm here based in LA.
Miami.
Yeah. So as a multimedia designer, I work in a lot of different mediums.
Okay.
So I started off in photography first.
Okay.
And I branched out into illustration, digital illustration, still do photography as well, and just, graphic design, whole animation as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How long have you been in that? Like, how long have you been interested in, dabbling in, working in?
I've always had like a really strong creative spirit.
Yeah.
My grandma really honed like my creative skills when I was younger. She really promoted them. I used to be a dancer as well. And then when I became a really strong academic throughout high school, and I have a master's degree, so really throughout life.
Right.
But when I was in college, I finally got the opportunity to delve into art more. So I have a BA in studio art because, funding didn't let me do that earlier. I didn't have the opportunity to explore it in high school because of budget cuts.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you were a kid and you were into art and everything, like, what are some of your earliest memories of finding design, art, what have you?
Okay, so definitely coloring, just in general. And I used to draw pictures a lot. My mom was actually in the military, so when she was in Iraq, I would draw her like a lot of the drawings of her as well. And I actually don't even think I sent those off. Like, sorry, Bob, but I still have them. And then also, so I was like probably the early 2000s. They came out with this camera for kids, like this video camera, and you could do little special effects on the computer. It had like a software program. Yeah. And oh my gosh, like Paint and all of that too, like early 2000s computer stuff, late 90s. Yeah. So that's kind of where it started.
That's the stuff you used to do when you wasn't supposed to be doing it in class. You were supposed to be doing work, but you was actually coloring on the computer instead.
Yeah, and at home and stuff. I find any excuse to draw. Really.
Right. Cool. So what is some of the work that you've been in or have been putting out or doing recently?
So I've been doing like about a lot of illustrations and animations because it is quick, because I am heavily freelancing right now. So doing digital work on my iPad and things is really quick, and it's a nice way to release quickly. Right. Also, I'm really into stage photography and miniatures, and it's a love of mine that I wanted to get back into, so I'm starting to get back into that. Hopefully it'll have a long stop motion released in about a month.
Nice.
Yes, it'll be nice.
Dang, I can't wait to see that. So it seems like you're into a lot of different kinds of art expressions through art. Do you ever struggle with sticking to one thing? Do you ever feel like...
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And when I was in school, one of my first teachers told me, after he read like the first draft of like my artist statement and my bio, he was like, you're into way too much. Like, you need to reduce it. You need to kind of perfect one. And I spent a long time on photography, which I'm really happy about, because you learn in photography how to frame a composition really well. So that makes design a little bit easier. So you can branch off into other things. But he told me that, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. So I always had that in the back of my mind, because everybody tells you, master one before you move to the next. But I honestly don't think that I could freelance as hard and make as much money as I do on my own, knowing one thing. Maybe. To make that money, you got to be flexible. Maybe. I'm sure people do it all the time, but I like doing different things. It's just it's a part of my like nature, honestly, to dab a little bit. But I am now wanting to revisit things that I know, like I actually recently kind of prioritized things that I was good at. I need to like experiment with something, know that where I am on the scale, and then prioritize it as in like what I'm good at and what I like. Gotcha. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So I kind of like decided what I really like the most.
Right. This is a question I ask a lot of artists, a lot of people that I talk to on this program, and that is, at this point in life, have you identified or thought heavily about what your general purpose is?
Yeah. It's funny because I have a good friend. He's also another artist, And when we like first got together, we had like brunch or whatever, him, me, and a group of other people. And he asked everybody at the table, "What's your purpose?"
Right.
And usually when somebody asks you that, you're like you know,
yeah, you're like, bruh, hey, chill.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But I instinctually.
yeah, we got you. Yeah.
I said create and to teach.
Right.
Like that was my first instinct, and I wasn't even a teacher at the time yet, because I did teach digital design as well.
Right.
And I don't even know why I said it. It was immediate.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And then once I said it, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's always been my purpose. Because I think that it is your divine nature to create. We are creators.
Yeah.
I don't think that, you know, if you don't do visual art or if you don't do music, you're not a creator. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think you can create
There's a lot
anything.
of different ways to create.
There's art in everything.
For sure.
Everything.
I agree.
So I think it's natural for us to create. I think it's something that we have to do almost. Like, I think everybody kind of has that, like,
that need
to create something.
I think you're right.
And then to teach. Like, I love to educate. I love teaching.
I was talking, that's funny you say that. I was talking to one of my boys on one of the talks here, actually, Marvin James, and we were talking about teaching. And that he talked about teaching himself, and we were discussing how in teaching, you actually learn yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like when you are instructing or when you're giving people information, you are informing yourself at the same time. So it's like, teaching is kind of self-edifying in a way.
And you learn so many life skills.
Right.
And how to, like, speak to people, like, and encourage them.
Yeah. Now tell me how the work that you put out, what you create. Wait, but before I ask that, you said you do a lot of freelancing, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the freelance projects that you work on, or how does that work? Because I've always been kind of like scared to freelance myself. I don't know. It's always been kind of like, I feel like you got to be a risk taker to be a freelancer.
So I initially started freelancing when I had a job.
Yeah.
So it was always like my side thing, and I treated it as my side thing for additional income. And I think that was good to practice the muscle.
Yeah.
But I do think that you don't need to do that. Everybody's like, yeah, you can freelance on the side, like, you know, keep your main job. I don't think I believe in that anymore, because if you don't really take that dive, I think, okay, you can create a little monetary cushion for yourself if that makes you feel better. But I think that it is, like, important to kind of take that dive, or you don't really.
Yeah. Whatever you want to do, whatever your heart tells you really want to do, and that's what you enjoy doing, you should make that plan A.
But I would like to know that I was kind of forced to take that dive because of COVID. Like, I got laid off. So I was forced to do it, like, full time.
Yeah.
And it worked out. But I also, like, had to have the strong mentality of it is going to work out. Like, I believe in manifestation.
Right.
So it's like you have to, like, you know, stick to that
idea.
idea.
For sure.
And I had a couple people reach out to me, like, during COVID, because they were in the same place. Like, they went from, like, entertainment, and then they're like, okay, I have these other skills. How do I monetize off of them? And I was like, you know, the first step is to really just put yourself out there. If you haven't put out the skill, if you don't let people know that you can do this and can do that, then, you know, the more you do that, especially with social media, people are going to reach out to you. Or if they hear of an opportunity and they're in a room, they could be like, oh, I know somebody who does that.
Yeah,
and that helps out a lot.
So it's relationship based a lot. Yeah. When you're doing freelancing and you're working with different people, do you tend to continue working with the same person over and over again? Do you know what I mean, or do you branch out a lot? How do you typically do it? Yeah.
I do like to keep consistent clients. I think it's nice to have a sense of consistency that's varied. Like having a job and being routine it's consistent. Humans like consistency. We like consistency. So I do like having the same clients, and then every now and again having, like, you know, a different one, because then you can have a more consistent relationship with those people as well, you know? But having the consistency is nice. Like being on retainer is nice, because you know it's going to come. There's some sense of security, because freelancing is insecure at points. So having a sense of insecurity, even at a smaller scale, is nice.
You said that your basic purpose is to teach and to create. Tell me, in however way you see that your work, you know, freelancing, design, multimedia, the work that you put out, how does it coincide with that purpose?
So I've always had a message to the art. You know, I'm narrative driven as an artist. And I like things that are design-wise, you know, aesthetically pleasing and that agree. Like, you know, we like things that look nice.
Yeah.
The whole rule of thirds and the golden ratio. Like,
Yeah,
as
right,
humans,
right.
we like symmetry
Right,
as well.
right.
So I really like those things. But I also really, really like art, even art that I'm gravitated to that has like a narrative and a message tied into it. So that's always been something that every project that I go into, it's hard for me to do if I don't have a narrative or a message to teach. Sometimes that narrative or that message is interpreted. People get different interpretations, which is nice. You know?
Right.
It's art. We can go to a museum.
Yeah.
Right? But I also have been gravitating to more clear messages as well.
Right.
With some little interpretation.
Yeah. Can you give me an instance or give me an example of work or any of your designs or whatever you worked on that you see a clear message in? I don't know, maybe something that's graphic design, what have you, that you can think of.
So, I mean, I recently did an animation with the White House burning. But I actually thought my interpretation was like a little bit clear, and it wasn't.
Right.
And I found that out too.
Yeah.
By a couple of people who like responded to it in my DMs, and I was like, oh, like you think I'm just targeting the president? Okay. You know, I'm like, no, it's more system based. But
right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like the art that I'm wanting to put out more of, especially like in this climate, has more of a clearer message than the work that I've previously done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the work that you previously done, and what that stems from. You could talk to me about that.
So a lot of my previous work was a little bit more graphic. There was a lot more genitalia involved.
Genitalia. That's such a proper
male
way to say
genitalia.
It. Okay.
You know, and I have also like a miniature piece that it was clearly like, you know, sex was at the forefront, like sex and home.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And what was the question again? I'm sorry.
tell me about that work and kind of, if you can, like the purpose behind that work.
Yeah. So people would always ask me like, why do you draw penises all the time? Whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, but I would draw penises in very demeaning, demasculated manners. You know, I have an animation where someone is literally like laser eyeing a penis.
Okay.
And, you know,
I think I saw that one.
Making it into
I saw that
dog.
one, and I did like this one. I looked at
a penis like in a Vienna sausage can.
Okay.
And you know, at first it was just me kind of just, you know, doing it. And then I was like, why? I even asked myself, why am I doing this? And it's like, I want to demasculate the penis. I'm mad at it. I'm mad at the patriarchy. Right. You know? It was
patriarchy.
Emotional expression.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of great art does that. It has an emotional expression to it.
A lot of great art.
We talk about demasculating the penis. Now, or demasculating patriarchy in a way. Tell me why.
I think as a woman, I'm angry at the patriarchy. I think that I kind of want to, you know, also kind of show men that your penis isn't everything. Okay. You know what I mean? There's more to you than your penis, you know? And I think that that's important. I
think it's important too.
You know, and also leveling the playing field out, you know? I do believe in equality amongst men and women. I do believe in divine feminine, divine masculine, and I think that there needs to be a balance in everyone's life.
Yeah, I agree. I feel that. Last question. What is it that you hope to do, like, you know, in the future, and how do you plan to get there?
So I hope to, you know, continue to educate, you know, through my art and on a lecture basis as well. Yeah. And I hope to, it's always been a dream and a goal of mine, an attainable one as well, to create products. But I've always kind of been hesitant on that because I don't want to just sell prints. Yeah. Even though I think that's great and I think that's important as well. But I want to, you know, have products that better people's lives. You know, that is actually useful and that can better someone's day or just better their mindset. And I think I'm getting there. So how do I get there? You know, planning it out, asking people what they think, you know, sharing my ideas, experimenting, figuring out what works. I mean, heck, if that flops, then maybe I'll go to something else.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? But I know.
right. Got you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you. This
yes.
was awesome. We might have to do it again.
Yes, I want to come back.
Yes. This was Lunchtime Talks. Thank you guys for watching.
Blake of America.
Blake of America. At Blake of America. Follow at Blake of America. I forgot about that. Blake. That's such a dope Instagram name.
Thank you.
Blake of America.
Yeah. My parents are proud.
I'm proud. I saw that. Because Gary said, hey, man, you go look at Blake of America. I said, what? Why? How'd she get that Instagram handle? That's the coldest Instagram handle. But, yeah. But Blake of America. Follow that. Thank you. Peace. That was a good one. Real solid. Cool. Okay.